New York City was never built for weak rappers. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, hip-hop wasn't just music in New York, it was survival. Every borough had legends. Every block had somebody chasing respect. Every rapper believed they deserved the throne. But above all the noise, two names stood taller than everybody else. Jay-Z, Nas. One came from Brooklyn with the mindset of a hustler turned businessman. The other came from Queensbridge carrying the soul of lyrical street poetry. They represented two completely different versions of greatness. And eventually, those two worlds were destined to collide. By the time the tension started becoming public, Jay-Z was already turning himself into a superstar. He had money, influence, radio records, luxury, confidence, and a growing empire. His music sounded rich. Every verse felt calculated. Every interview carried the energy of somebody who already believed he was the king of New York. But real hip-hop fans still whispered another name when conversations about lyrical greatness started. Nas. To the streets, Nas was untouchable with the pen. His storytelling changed hip-hop forever. Fans treated his lyrics like scripture. While Jay-Z represented ambition and hustle, Nas represented raw authenticity and lyrical purity. And deep inside the culture, comparisons between them never stopped. Who was the better rapper? Who really owned New York? Who represented hip-hop the right way? At first, the tension stayed hidden behind subliminal bars and quiet competition. Little shots in verses. Sneaky interview comments. Tiny moments only true rap fans noticed. But over time, the disrespect started growing louder. Then came the moment everything exploded. Jay-Z publicly challenged Nas in front of the world. Not secretly. Not quietly. Publicly. And once that happened, hip-hop changed overnight. Radio stations turned into battlegrounds. DJs debated the beef every single day. Most rappers never recover from public humiliation. Especially in hip-hop. Because rap culture remembers everything. One bad moment can destroy careers forever. One embarrassing diss track can turn superstars into jokes overnight. And after Nas released Ether, the pressure on Jay-Z became massive. The streets were talking. The radio was talking. The culture was talking. And almost everybody believed Nas had won. But Jay-Z saw the situation differently. That's what separated him from everybody else. While fans focused on emotions, Jay-Z focused on strategy. He understood something most artists never learn until it's too late. Survival matters more than moments. Anybody can win one song. Anybody can have one legendary night. But staying powerful for decades? That requires a completely different mindset. And Jay-Z had that mindset. Instead of disappearing after the backlash, he kept moving forward. He kept dropping music. He kept growing his influence. He kept building relationships inside the business world while other rappers focused only on the streets and the charts. Slowly, something strange started happening. Jay-Z stopped behaving like just a rapper. He started behaving like an empire. While the culture replayed Ether, Jay-Z expanded into fashion, corporate business, sports management, investments, luxury branding, and ownership. Every move looked bigger than music itself. That's why the beef became legendary. Because it forced Jay-Z to evolve. Before Nas, Jay-Z was already rich and respected. After Nas, he became colder, smarter, and more strategic than ever before. The embarrassment hardened him. The criticism sharpened him. Every insult became fuel for a larger vision. And over time, public opinion slowly shifted. Fans who once mocked Jay-Z started watching him become impossible to ignore. Album sales stayed massive. Tours became global events. His influence spread beyond hip-hop into mainstream culture itself. Meanwhile, the beef turned into mythology. Years passed. The diss tracks became history. The anger faded. But the legacy of the Jay-Z and Nas beef never disappeared. Because what happened after the battle shocked the entire world. Jay-Z didn't just survive the biggest challenge of his career. He evolved beyond hip-hop itself. The same man who once stood in the middle of New York defending his throne against Nas slowly transformed into one of the most powerful businessmen in entertainment history. Music was no longer the only battlefield. Now he was conquering industries. Fashion, sports, technology, luxury brands, corporate America. Ownership became his obsession. And that obsession changed everything. While many rappers stayed trapped chasing singles and temporary fame, Jay-Z focused on building generational wealth. He understood that real power wasn't just about being hot for 1 year. Real power meant ownership. Ownership of music. Ownership of companies. Ownership of culture itself. That mentality turned him into something hip-hop had never fully seen before. A billionaire rapper. And suddenly, the old beef with Nas started looking different in hindsight. Because the pressure from that war shaped Jay-Z into the version of himself that would eventually dominate the world beyond music. Public embarrassment forced him to evolve mentally. The criticism forced him to think bigger. The competition forced him to sharpen every move he made afterward. Ironically, the battle that almost damaged his legacy permanently became the fuel that expanded it forever. And eventually, the impossible happened. Jay-Z and Nas made peace. Years after exchanging some of the most disrespectful lyrics hip-hop had ever heard, the two legends stood beside each other publicly. Collaborating. Performing together. Smiling together. For fans who lived through the war, it felt unreal. Two kings who once tried to destroy each other now standing together as icons. Older. Wiser. Untouchable.